It's your Wednesday night conversation. It's more than just the gossip. It's the issues that matter most to you. A closer look at current events, just the tip, special guests, and more. Welcome to Let's Have a Fefe, Arizona's longest-running drag live stream. Hosted by Felicia Fifi Minor and Freddy Prinze Charming. Streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Promotional consideration for Let's Have a Fefe provided by Wigs of a Kind, The Burly Barber, Bone and Basil, as well as our patrons at Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Let's Have a Fefe to become a Fefe patron. Virtual tips accepted at paypal.me/Let's Have a Fefe. Welcome to Let's Have a Fefe.
Hello. I don't know. For a brief second, my screen said that I didn't have internet, but I kept seeing you move, and I was like, "Well, if I don't have internet, this is some hocus pocus." Because I am definitely seeing things. So, welcome to Let's Have a Fefe. This is episode 31 of season 9. Hi, Marissa. I can't believe we're at 31. I can't believe it. I know believe it.
It's crazy.
This is your Wednesday night conversation for the longest time. Welcome to Let's Have a Fefe. I'm Felicia Fifi Minor, for anybody that doesn't know, but I feel like the people
sometimes we get new people, sometimes we get the random new people that pop up. And
who's the new guy with you, Felicia? Oh. Oh, the new guy over there in the purple hair. Still, you're Mr. US of A, MI Classic.
Yes, I am. Still.
I think we should get you a what is it? A sash that says your title and then still. Yeah. At the bottom. Yeah. And then when they say, "Don't you mean forever?" and you're like, "No."
Talk about having a forever title, though. Jesus Christ. Oh.
Yes, Shannon, we love you. We love you.
Oh my God.
And I'm trying out some new background. Restream just released some motion backgrounds. It's kind of soothing. If you
very exciting. It's very exciting.
And it was kind of the color.
And it matches my whole thing.
Uh-huh.
It's good.
That's what I was going for.
Was it? That's what you were going for? That's good.
No. So, some housekeeping. We'd like to thank our 19 patrons: Allison, Best, and Brandon, Cassandra 1S, Cassandra 2S's, Drake Jensen, Casey Starr, Carrie and Corey, Kim, Joan, Jody, Leanne, Nicole, Patricia Mason, Sassy C. Diaz, Shelly, and Sky. A special thanks to our friends and supporters, Cassandra 1S, Patricia Mason, Sky, and Drake Jensen, for taking the deeper plunge on Patreon.
Yes, go deep.
Yes. We also want to thank Joan of Bobish Jewelry and Wood Art, Guido Martin, and Jeremy Bright of Ripple Phoenix. You can donate to us or sponsor us full on because
if any of you managed to catch, not last week, but the week before, if that was not an indication that we need upgrades, I don't know what is. And tonight my computer was trying to not connect to this. It's dying. My computer is dying. It is dying a very slow, painful death.
Oh. Yeah. So sad.
So anyway, any rich benefactors, please feel free to come up and...
Careful what you wish for.
You know what? I'll make it work. It's fine. You want dirty pictures? I'll send you dirty pictures. They may not necessarily be of me, but they'll be dirty pictures.
Just Google them.
I'm just right, and then just
This is me.
I'll
In the
just
summer of
save.
99.
I'll just save whatever I get off Grindr and shit, and just send those.
Yeah, just randoms. I got this today. And you can also text HAF to 602-730-7379. I also think that if you have comments about the show or want to answer a question, I can look on the texting thing. I'm trying to figure out how I can show it on the screen, but I'll figure that part out too. Or you can chat and I can show it on screen anyway. But
or if you want to ask a question like anonymously or something, you could do that.
You could do that. Absolutely. Thank you. You look awesome.
I think the background looks awesome. I don't know that it's us so much as the background.
Oh, damn. I had hope for us. What happened?
We froze on my end.
Oh, no. I'm still here.
I'm like, no, please don't leave me.
Maybe it was how the intro was for me, how it said the internet was not connected, and then it was just going. So,
I mean, I'm still green, so at least there's that.
Yeah. What did you do this weekend?
So it was exciting. I did stuff that wasn't like house stuff. It was like for the first time in forever. I did things that wasn't centered around the house.
Got out of the house?
I did. And then drove 6 hours back and forth to Tucson. But it was fine. It was for a good cause. Felicia and I were both, we actually hosted the Free Mom Hugs Arizona fundraiser that happened at Bumstead's in Tucson. It was awesome. We managed to raise, I believe, $1,700 for the organization, which was absolutely fantastic. So that was exciting. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I did a quick shoot with Ripple Phoenix. They've got a campaign that's coming up that they're putting out in June. I'll have more details on that later. But I got to do a quick shoot for that. So that was fun.
Yeah, I want to know more about this. I was reading the notes and I was like, what the fuck?
So, well, I wasn't necessarily doing things that were house stuff. We did have house stuff that was done. Now, a few weeks ago, we actually got a massive wrought iron, super heavy hanging pot rack thing, right?
Oh, I've always wanted one of those in the kitchen.
I had one like when I lived in Mesa years ago. It wasn't this big at all. It was much smaller. But so we got this thing. We're like, okay.
Thanks, Marissa.
We got to get it hung up. But because it's so heavy, it needed to be hung up in a way with like special bolts that like went into the beams and stuff like that up in the kitchen.
Like when you get your swing.
Right. I was not going to do that because knowing my luck, I would try to do that and then everything would fucking fall down and I'd have a hole in my ceiling. So we decided that we were actually going to pay somebody to do it. And someone that Dee knows was able to come and take care of that. Now, you would think that this would be relatively easy, right? You get a stud finder, bam, bam, bam. Here's the studs. Bzz, 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 in goes the bolt, right? Nope. Because nothing we do can ever just be fucking easy.
Oh, no.
So his stud finder, like he tried 3 different stud finders. He carries 3 with him when he's on the job. So he has 3 different stud finders. According to his man.
Go ahead.
So his stud finders were giving inconclusive readings the entire fucking ceiling in the kitchen. According to the stud finders, basically our entire ceiling was like one big piece of wood. He's like, that's not right. That can't possibly be right. So he ended up like taking out one of the light fixtures so he could kind of get up there and like feel around a little bit. And he's like, no, this is the way this is going. Really bizarre. Like it took.
So your whole ceiling is a solid piece of wood?
No, it's not. But the reason it wasn't reading properly was because there was double the amount of drywall on the ceiling. We had like, let's usually like an inch or so of drywall. We had like 2 inches of drywall plus like, so it wasn't getting a good, it was really bizarre. So it took the poor guy much longer than anticipated, and I felt so bad for him. But we finally got this fucking thing hung up, thank God. And it literally, he got there at like 4. He didn't leave until after 7. That's how long it took him to find the right places to be able to screw this shit in. Like, I felt so bad for him, and it wasn't his fault. Like, it was because nothing I do can ever possibly be easy. So, you know, we're hanging this up, and now that I have this lovely large kitchen and a gas stove and all this stuff, I'm thinking to myself, I was like, so, and my partner has brought this up a couple times. We're like, well, what if I did like a cooking show of sorts or something where I could do like a cooking class and have folks join, and maybe like do like a private event where it's like $5 a person or something like that. And I can like teach you how to do things and teach you how to make something. You know, I'm like, this could be doable. This could be doable because I have enough space now. So that might be something that may be coming at some point or another. Maybe. If there's enough interest that, you know, it could be worth it. So we'll see.
We got one.
You would say, see, and then I could have a live studio audience because we do have an island with like bar stools where people could sit. So I could like technically have like 3 or 4 people over that, you know, are vaccinated or whatever. And then I could do it that way and then, you know, show them and then, you know, do it on the video as well. So that could be interesting. So yeah, what did you do this weekend?
So rewind. We weren't here per se last week.
This is true.
We did the replay of
Adam
Albright's his episode because Facebook was a jerk and wouldn't let his episode play. So I sat here and cleaned my room a little bit and then found fabric for you for the quilt project and talked with some of Adam's fans who were like, oh, this is so good. Do you guys do this every week? And so I've been talking to people that follow him. Obviously, they're not here tonight, but you know.
And there were people that I met at the fundraiser that said they were going to follow us and watch. So I'm wondering where they are.
Anyway, so I played that episode, and then just before that, on the Tuesday, which was May 4th, as you know, is like Star Wars Day, and so I did the the story hour, and that was fun. You know, I did little Stormtrooper makeup.
I saw that. That reminded me of our cat bingo when we did that, where we both ended up dressing like stormtroopers, even though we didn't plan it and had similar makeup because we didn't plan it because that's how we roll.
It's weird. It's really weird. Anyway, so and then on Saturday, Bumsteads with you and everyone have vaccine will bring wine. Oh, I just read that. Sorry. And then Saturday night, I did not do anything that I planned on doing.
Yeah. I was so tired by the time I got home. I was dead. I was like, I can't even function.
Yeah. And so Sunday, you know, I do the usual. And then Sunday night had magic at Stacy's, which was fun.
How's that going now that there's been like a handful of shows, no, right? Something like that. Like, nah, like
handful of shows, but I only appear or are featured once a month.
No, well.
Sometimes twice a month. I haven't had a twice a month yet. Just but I've only been in 2 shows, so
that's 2 more shows than I've been in, mind you, but that's by choice for the most part, so I'm okay with that.
Also, so I got a ride home from Dom and his girlfriend. So but we stopped by the Rock and there were some people there that were like, "Are you still doing shows?" I'm like, "I was just in one." Like, do you become an artifact when you don't do a certain amount of shows or something?
Become like an antique. I don't know.
But I was saying, like, we're alive every Wednesday. I put on at least a gob of makeup to do it, and so I'm not out of practice at all. And I was saying I do a lot of virtual things. I'm not sure if I mean, I enjoy the stage, truly I do, but if I had to do like more virtual ones, I would be okay.
I think it's I
I'm
think
good.
it's
I'm
funny.
good.
Like it's kind of telling to like how people pay attention or don't when they're like, so what are you doing? I'm like, really? We've been doing the Fifi for 9 seasons. We're going on almost 10 years and we've been doing it literally every fucking Wednesday. Oh, wow, you're still doing that? Yes. Like,
So yeah, there are some people that are still questioning if we do it. Um, yes, we're still here. If Do me a favor, if you know someone that should be watching our show, share the show with them. Because uh yeah, I it doesn't bother me because I can do my own thing, but um
and
it
we
seems to
have
be a
done for 9 fucking seasons. Like,
and I enjoy every bit of it. So anyway, that was my weekend.
I'm gonna throw a little something out there, which the folks that weren't backstage aren't gonna know what this is, but I'm just gonna say it anyway.
Hmm.
Animal abuse is never fucking funny. Period. Don't give a fuck what it is. I don't give a fuck. Animal abuse is not funny. Period. Don't find it humorous. Don't find it funny. Don't find it cute. Don't think I'm just not funny. So, just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. Because the things that you find out about people, man, people that hurt animals, like that's the shit that when people are serial killers, when they're abusers, when there's something seriously psychologically wrong, if you look back, almost all of them have done shit to hurt animals in their past. I don't care if it was once, I don't care if it was twice, there's no fucking excuse. None whatsoever. Not funny, not cute, don't give a fuck. Anyway, so my tip tonight, I'm actually going to revisit the tip that I did on the episode that was complete shit when my computer wasn't working and whatever, because when I finally got around to it, it was like after the episode was pretty much done, and we just kind of kept going. So, and
Oh my
people had
gosh.
like pretty much stopped watching at that point. So I'm gonna go ahead and revisit that because it's one of those
Speaking
things.
of, look at that. I haven't seen that name pop up on our screen in
I know.
forever.
What's up, Victoria? Long time no see. Good to see you. Thanks for coming back. We missed you. So, my tip tonight, we're going to talk about dating profiles,
Hi, Charity.
online dating apps. Now, I'm not talking about the hookup app. So, I'm not talking about things like, the Grinder or whatever it is. I'm talking about actual dating apps.
Does
Because
Tinder count? I'm not into these things. I don't know what you're
I think
talking about.
Tinder's still more of a hookup app these days, from what I
Mm.
understand. I've never used it, but from what I've seen, I think it's more of like the straight hookup app. Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, so online dating has really sort of just become the norm. It is what it is. Dating apps are all over the place. There's things like OkCupid, Bumble, eHarmony, Hinge. Like, there's all these fucking. I think Her is one for lesbians. Like,
Zalesky.
there's dating apps everywhere, and they're all fairly similar in what
In
they
the
ask
app
for.
store, in the app store, I think they're networking and friendship.
Okay, we'll go with that. Like, they're all pretty similar in, they ask for a picture, usually some sort of description, what you're looking for, and then like different extras depending on what the app is. Like, you can customize things like,
Like what?
I could beat you at, or I could win, or don't date me if, or what I mean, things like that. So like
Whoa.
on my just for as an example, like on my OkCupid profile, you know, it says the prompt is, you know, I could beat you at, and so I answered that and I said the number of carbs eaten in one sitting.
That's not a lie.
I just saying.
That's not a lie.
Right. So, you know, and for those of you that are like, oh my God, he has an OkCupid. Yes, I have an OkCupid profile. I am in a polyamorous relationship. She knows I have an OkCupid profile. She also has an OkCupid profile. So it's not weird. Just putting that out there for like
profiles. Do you compare
like each
profiles?
other's or the people that message us?
Yeah, like do you find people or they find you and you're like, look at this guy.
For sure. Oh, absolutely. And most of it is because they do these things that I'm going to talk about right now. So there's some really bad profiles.
Can I give you one that's not on there that you didn't talk about the last time?
Sure.
Please do not send messages that say hi.
Oh my God. I did talk about that.
Oh my God. That shit drives me
pretty
shit crazy. Even in regular conversation. Don't say
don't just
hi.
Message me and be like, hey. Just say what you gotta say. So here are some tips on how to keep your online dating profile not looking awful. So your main picture is the first thing that people see, right? That basically is going to be what initially is what kind of, you know, make people be like, all right, well, let me read on a little bit or immediately swipe left.
She says we talk shit all the time.
We really do. It's kind of terrible. So since that, you know, your main picture is the first thing that people see, pick a good one. You know, I mean, smiling is good. Look happy, look approachable. Not blurry is always a plus.
Oh, so I can't use my headshot from 1985?
Oh my God. Actually, don't fucking make it look like it's from 1984. In fact, if you're using your senior picture from like 1992, don't do that. Just don't do that.
Oh,
you're
damn.
45. Move on. Okay.
Oh, damn.
Also, I understand that there's a pandemic, and I know that, you know, COVID is a thing, but maybe you in a mask shouldn't be your main picture. Like,
can't you tell what I look like?
Seriously, this is not gonna make me want to be like, oh, let me see what they, I don't
like this.
Like,
is this perfect?
If you want to show that you're being, oh my God, if you want to show that you're being responsible and you have a mat like yourself in a mask is one of your other pictures, fantastic. But it really shouldn't be.
Or maybe I should wear it. My main picture should be the one where my mask is down here.
Oh, right down there, because that really.
Oh, I see so many. I'm not on dating profiles, but I see Facebook ones where the mask is like sitting down here, and you're like, that's gross.
Ew. So like just gross on so many levels. And I mean, generally try not to look like a serial killer, because I swear to God, there are pictures, particularly, and this particularly with men, I find I swear to God, their profile pictures look like this.
I've seen lady ones like that.
Like they all look like this. And I'm like, ooh, okay, well, that's fun. And they all look the same. All of their pictures look the same.
Because they pose like this the whole time.
Terrifying. So in your description, right? So your description is where you're going to talk a little bit about yourself. And I do mean a little bit about yourself. Try to find a good sort of midway point between a fucking Tolkien novel and a one-liner. You know, Cliff Notes versions. Cover the basics, but you know, it's a dating app. No one wants to read pages and pages and pages. I swear to God, there are some people that like, because on OkCupid, it gives you like a little thing and then you can click on like see full profile. So they give you like a little profile. So you're like, okay, little description. So I click on that. And then I swear to God, it just keeps going. I'm like, I have no time for this. I don't need your entire fucking life story and all the reason why you have the.
You don't really you get to know them like really up front, and you're like, oh wow.
I don't have time to read that shit. I'm like, I have no desire to sit there and read a fucking War and Peace on a dating app. Save it for conversation. like, or whatever. I'm like, nope, that's no. Hit the most important points, and honestly, do leave some of it for conversation. Otherwise, if you have 86 pages of shit on your profile, you have nothing left to talk about.
They figured it out. They're like, not interested.
I'm like, if I can get 3 sentences in and be like, okay, this guy's kind of interesting. This person sounds good. If there's a couple more sentences, awesome. If there's paragraph after paragraph after, I got no time. I'm done.
But they wrote that for you.
Also, and this is like a legitimate thing, don't be like the douchebag that starts their profile with Google me, everyone does. That's a thing. There is a guy on OkCupid whose profile literally says, Google me, everyone does. Don't give a shit. Do not give one shit. I will not Google you because I do not care. Don't care.
Laura says, I would rather be alone than use those apps. Bitches be cray cray. I'm too old for that shit.
They're not all bad. The apps, I mean, it's no different really than like meeting somebody at a bar or whatever. You get about the same information, but for me, it's actually easier to weed things out.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of like you see their picture, you're like, It's just like when you walk in a bar, you go, and then they start talking to you.
And then you're like even more like, yeah.
In the bar, they start talking to you. They either get too close, they talk too much.
Yep. Ugh. At least on the app, you can be like, no, I'm good. Swipe left. You don't even have to deal with it. It's fantastic.
Or if people keep messaging you, you can just go block.
Right.
Block.
Easy. It's harder to do that. Like you can walk away in a bar, but sometimes they get weird and they follow, and it's just like, Another thing like that you really should not do is leave your fucking profile blank and say, I'll fill this in later.
Oh.
Why? Why even fucking bother then? Don't fucking...
It's called being mysterious.
No, like seriously, why even bother trying to put anything up if you're not even going to put anything on it? Wait till you're ready and then do it. Otherwise, why the fuck would you even bother?
I like this one. Laura, Laura's just dropping the bombs. Laura says, listen to people. They will tell you who they are. Believe them.
Oh, absolutely. That's, yes. I mean, that's standard regardless of whether you meet somebody online or in person. Like that's, another thing is if you are somebody that changes your look up often, so say you change your hair color, your hairstyle, your facial hair, whatever it is, you change shit all the fucking time. And every single one of your pictures is different. Just make a note so that we know which one is actually current, because it's kind of annoying. It's like, I don't know who I'm talking to. Like you have like every single picture, you look completely different. Your hair color is different. Your hairstyle is different. You have a
could have just talked to me separately. Okay, God.
It's so annoying. It's like, I have no idea who I'm talking to. Like, and I understand that, like, people change their looks up and stuff, but it's, I don't know. I like knowing who I'm talking to. Like if I can like get a visual, like,
well, and plus, when you meet them,
right?
Again, that kind of goes back to like, what if that hairstyle was like 4 years ago, and you walk up into the bar or whatever public place you decide to meet, and you're like, who? What? Right. Oh yeah, I'm so and so. No, this
what? You look nothing. You look nothing. Like, so I mean, just I mean, if you want to show the different styles you've had, I think that's amazing. Just put a note on there. This is me currently. Cool.
Laura, I want to say that some people are good at being crazy, so you don't know up front either.
For sure. Pick pictures that show off your personality. So like if every picture is you looking like a serial killer in your bathroom mirror, I got nothing. Like there's nothing
too cute to be a serial killer.
Like I swear to God, they're like so many people are just like, here's 400 bathroom pictures of me looking exactly the same. That tells me nothing about your personality, what you like. Like, if you like to travel, post some pictures of you in different places. If you like to eat, show that. Show something that is like more than just you in a dirty bathroom mirror.
Yeah, if all of your profile pictures are in the mirror in the bathroom, at the gym, or at a restaurant, I'm gonna be like, okay, no,
Right.
no,
Like,
get yourself together.
there's nothing that shows me any kind of personality or, whatever. Like, just, I don't know.
Yes, Ted Bundy was very nice to people up front, and then they didn't last too long. That was right. Sometimes what?
So there's actually just side
Sometimes
note real quick there. There's a fantastic documentary on Netflix called Sons of Sam, and I highly recommend anybody that is all about like serial killers and true crime to watch it
I already
because it's really
watched it.
good. It's
I already
really
watched it.
good. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Go watch it.
Yeah.
But
And
I'm all about
okay.
that true crime stuff.
Yes. Yeah. That's all I listen to on podcasts. So like true crime and horror. I'm that dude. Sorry. So, and then like Felicia mentioned at the beginning, if you're going to send an intro message, don't just be like, sup.
So
Or hey.
I don't, again, I'm not on dating sites, but the thing that drives me nuts is I get messages like people trying to either do something, book something, do something, and it says hi.
I fucking hate that.
And then
say
I'll
what
say,
you have to fucking
I just say, hi, what's up? And they say, oh, nothing. And I'm like, obviously
Then
something
why are
brought you here.
I'm like, I am fucking busy. I don't need the small talk. Seriously, I don't need the fucking small talk. Like, I have shit to do. I'm working. Like, if you have something that you need to say, just fucking say it. You don't need to get my attention. You
Just
don't need to be like,
this
Freddy.
is the question, this is the answer,
No,
whatever.
Just be like, hey, so I wanted to know if blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's all I fucking need. You don't need to be like, hi, to get my attention. And then I'm like, just fucking say it. Just say what you have to say. That shit drives me batshit crazy. Like,
I'm like,
oh my God.
Especially, and sometimes I get them on LinkedIn and I'm like, girl, so if you equate this to, because I often get the other LinkedIn messages that is just like word vomit. But if you equate this when you're doing messages to how you would talk in person, just imagine you walked into a room and you said hi. No, that person's gonna look at you and go, okay, what? And you're gonna be like, what's next? Is this a conversation? Is this a what is
I'm
this?
like, for God's sake, say something. Like, oh.
So I would equate, like, if you're gonna start a conversation to like, hey, how are you doing? I thought your profile was blah blah blah.
And if you already fucking know me and you need a question answered or you whatever, just fucking say it. Just fucking say it. Don't try to get my attention for whatever it is. Just be like, hey, so blah, 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 blah.
I do be having people say good morning to me though, because I hate when I get messages first thing in the morning and people are like, hey. And I'm like, just equate that to, if you were talking to me in real life, you would not be going, hey.
Gabe, I swear to God, you can try. It won't get you very far, but you can fucking try. Oh my God. Shit.
Another one I haven't seen in a while. Hi, Gabe.
I know. We got a couple people popping on that we haven't seen in a bit. That's awesome. It's fantastic. All right, let's take a closer look at current events. We got some interesting things happening. This
one has been going on all week.
In terms of politics, the Colonial Pipeline was the victim of a Russian ransomware attack, which is now resulting in idiots hoarding gasoline and storing it in things like plastic bags because Merca.
I saw a picture and I couldn't believe that it was true, but a person or a family was getting cans of gasoline and putting it in the back of their van.
Yeah.
I was like, oh
People
my
are fucking
God.
idiots. Also, by hoarding gasoline, you're literally causing this shortage that you're so concerned about.
So I have one question, and I saw this on Twitter. What causes people to go into panic prep or panic mode?
Fox News.
I was going to say that. But the thing that you guys out on, like when we buy toilet paper high quantity at a time, you create more gap in supply. So when the demand goes up, they can charge you more. So now this is like economics, basic economics, people. Do not go out and get all of the gas. You get all of the gas, all the supply goes out. And then the demand goes up
And the
at the
prices
same
go up.
time. So then people get angry because the price goes up. I'm like, this is simple economics.
This
Don't
is
go
basic
get all the
shit.
gas.
But it's so dumb because people are storing gasoline in giant tubs and all sorts of shit. Y'all know that gasoline degrades shit, right? Like you can't just keep gasoline indefinitely in whatever the fuck you want, right? Like it eats through things.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots. Like, and you see, I've seen people like fill up, you know, the giant containers that they use for like water and stuff, you know, that they're, you know, filling those up with gasoline. I'm like, y'all are fucking stupid. And now you're going to be bitching if the price continues to rise, even though you just went and filled up a whole shit ton of giant containers full of gasoline, thereby causing your local gas station to have a shortage. But whatever. Apparently, it's fine.
And yes, there are things happening overseas in the Middle East, but that is not what is affecting our gas prices.
Correct.
It has a little to do with it. Little,
but
like
it's
very
not,
little.
No,
it's not affecting us getting gas from the Middle East.
It was because the Colonial Pipeline had this little issue. They've been down since Friday. But Biden did issue a statement saying that they're back up and running and things are gonna be back to normal shortly.
Yes, and here we go with the orange Republicans, and that's what I'm calling them these days, overreacting on Fox News and saying that Biden is not living up to promises.
I'm
that
loving
it's isn't
killing
protecting
me
us.
Literally everything is being blamed on Biden, who's been in office for 3 months. Essentially,
but we couldn't blame anything on
even though basically
face.
The same shit was happening and worse for the last 4 years. But
it happens in cycles. It happens every presidency. So things like this do happen. But see, this is why you should pay attention to these things. But if not, we're here to help you understand that this isn't the first time a pipeline has gone down. I believe this is the first time that Russian ransomware has been involved.
Yes, that's new. That is definitely new, but it's not the first time it's happened. Something, you know.
So anytime somebody says, "Oh yeah, we can trust Russia," stop buying stuff from there, because I know some people that know where they're buying stuff from. You buy it on Amazon, maybe you don't know it's from Russia, but just be careful, y'all. There's so many things. It's just weird. It's just so weird.
And honestly, we wouldn't be having this problem if we were more dependent on things like renewable energy. Just saying, but it's fine. Whatever. I was going to say, after speaking out against Trump numerous times, the GOP took 16 minutes to oust Liz Cheney from her position.
What do you think? What do you think about that?
So what's interesting is Liz Cheney has been speaking out fairly often about all the bullshit that, you know, Trump was doing. And, you know, she says that the party needs to return to true conservatism and blah, 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 which,
correct.
You know, if if you go back and look at historically speaking, what the Republican Party used to stand for, she's not wrong. Like it makes sense. But somewhere in there, the Republican Party was skewed and twisted and became this party that was basically fueled on bigotry and hatred. And they're now bitching about things like welfare, even though it was a Republican that actually created the welfare system. So the party has gone so far off course from what it used to be that she's not wrong when she says that the party needs to basically go back. Like, and the fact that she does call Trump out and the Republicans were just like, nope, out, which is it's fucking stupid.
For me, I say good for her. She stood her ground. She knew what she knew she was fighting for. Meanwhile, we have people that historically flip-flop have come forward and say, I'm part of this new orange Republican. I'm going to be radical. And but at the same time, she's being kicked out because she wants to go back to the fundamentals. Right. And what I don't understand and what I could see happening is I could see the people that have the same mindset as she does following her out slowly, or the darnest is going to happen. The darnest is going to happen, and it's going to be the true fight of we don't want this orange person to be back in
honestly, it's just it goes back down. It comes down to what I've been saying forever now, which is the two-party system is completely broken and just needs to be done.
But I would love because if she was going to do anything, and who's to say she wouldn't, but for her to create her own party, or even, dare I say it, join the Green Party and cause some kind of uproar.
Right. Cause and that's not to say that I agree with most Republican anything, because almost everything that they do is just, I don't know. I mean, like, I would have to see some legitimate change, like, or at least the attempt of legitimate change coming from her to go back to what the party originally stood for. But because it's so skewed, I don't know that any Republican will even acknowledge what the party was originally. You know what I mean? So I don't know that it is ever going to happen. I think the Republicans are just going to continue to become more, fundamentalist and just so far right that they're just going to turn into this whole other thing.
Like sometimes they're being so ridiculous. But Laura says the parties have changed. Yeah. Yes, I want to say that the parties have changed. Not that there's good on both sides. None of them are completely out of the
politicians red. On both sides are still politicians.
Yeah, and that's just the name of the game. But I say that as far as Republicans wanting people not to be so extreme or not to be so radical, they have become so radical and so extreme.
The Republicans are essentially the American version of like jihad terrorists. That's exactly what they've become at this point. They'll never admit it, of course, and they'll never see that they have so many
still
similarities.
Fighting the January 6th event, so
they'll never admit that they have more in common with like radical Islamic terrorists than they do anything to do with, the American Constitution and freedom. They'll never admit that, but it is what it is. And anybody with half a brain sees that, but they'll just, it's fine.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. We're so good. We want to save people money.
What do we have happening in LGBTQ news? Oh, Lord.
Oh, the one I sent you. So, Caitlyn Jenner. Let's just get into this. Caitlyn Jenner doesn't represent me or anybody else I know. Caitlyn Jenner says trans people don't like her because she's not a gutter whore. Now, also, look, before you get into it, because we had a long discussion about this on the way to Tucson. Also, Caitlyn acts like she is the voice of the LGBTQ community when she's not. Also, she doesn't agree with trans kids in sports. Yet I sent Fred. Caitlyn Jenner doesn't believe in trans kids in sports, but she was out playing golf.
Right. She competed in a
Saturday.
women's golf tournament. Well, she competed in a women's golf tournament.
Well, I think that's unfair.
I think it is too. I think that she should just.
If she doesn't think that trans kids should play sports, trans women,
trans adults shouldn't either. Period. So I'm just gonna put this out there. We as trans people, and I am gonna say we in this instance, this is the one time that I am going to speak for the majority of trans people. We don't not like her because she's not a gutter whore. We don't like her because she is a trash human being. We don't like her because she is one of the biggest pieces of shit. Her and fucking Buck Angel can go fuck themselves. Between the two of them, they are some of the most problematic trans people on this planet. And Caitlyn Jenner is...
Can we say privileged, rich, privileged?
And that's exactly it. She, like, when she decided to transition, she like disappeared for a week, came back, had everything done, and then kept talking about,
and then was on the cover of a magazine,
right?
And had a special,
and was talking about how, like, you know, trans women are, you know, are to blame for the violence against them because they look like men in dresses and blah 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 blah. And it's like, oh my god. From the very day that she decided to come out as trans, she has been nothing but problematic. She has been a huge Trump supporter. She is a fucking Republican. She is anti-gay marriage. She is anti-trans people in sports. She can go fuck herself. Period. We don't like her because she is an awful human being. It has nothing to do. I would prefer a gutter whore, personally, whatever the fuck that means. I would prefer that to whatever the hell she is, which is a privileged individual who keeps waving that privilege around like a goddamn flag. Period.
And also in the talks of protecting Black trans women, she's nowhere to be seen.
No, of course not.
Nowhere.
Because she doesn't care.
And I know that I have seen in my feed, bless your hearts, and that I mean that in the Southern derogatory term, that y'all think that she is some kind of saving grace or something. I don't know, but I don't wish any ill will. I just wish that she got a clue and that she understood better that we don't see things how she sees things. From
literally, there have been so many people that have been trying to talk to her for years and she doesn't listen. So that's on her at this point. Like, now she is willfully ignorant, and that's just the way that is. Like, let's see. We also have, Ellen is going to be ending her talk show in 2022 after 19 seasons.
Well, wouldn't you, after all of what just happened?
Well, I mean, there was she got a lot of backlash during the pandemic for not paying her people and basically treating her people like shit. There was a lot of shit that came up last year when things shut down, when other talk show hosts and, you know, other TV shows were still paying their people because they were out of work because everything shut down, you know. Other people were actually taking care of, you know, the crew and whatever, and she was not. So she got a lot of backlash for that.
Also, she acted a little bit clueless when harassment suits were being filed, and acted like she didn't know that was happening.
Right.
I'm like, you're top tier.
Yeah.
You should know everything that's going on in your organization.
I used to watch her show way back in the day, but I stopped because it was all kind of being the same thing. Like it was there was nothing really changed about it, nothing really. So I was like, I got bored, so I stopped watching it.
I think that I still liked Ellen, but after the pandemic mess, I kept thinking, because she kept sounding like she was making excuses. Does that make sense? But I follow Oprah, who is like down, and she may be beyond belief, but she is down there asking people questions. I mean, there's even like sometimes she lets the camera roll and she's like asking people like, "Oh, why didn't you go eat?" And you're like,
Right.
"Bitch, your boss still asks you why you didn't eat? Is she making like $1 billion a year?"
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Ellen, we see you, but let's go, girl. We all human, though.
Yep.
What else? Let's see. The Lutheran Church just elected its first transgender bishop. Oh wow!
I know. I
That's
thought
fun.
that was kind of awesome. Let's
Also,
see.
didn't Biden reverse protections for LGBTQ people in the workplace and other places?
No, I don't think he reversed it.
Or he put it back,
He put
restored
it. I think he put it back because Trump took it away. So I think he actually put it back. From what I believe.
Does that mean we're protected again?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Let's see. In COVID news, the FDA has approved vaccines for kids 12 and older, which is really cool.
Oh wow.
I'm hopefully at some point they'll approve it for everybody, because that would be really great. Because then everybody could actually in my household get, right now everybody but the youngest can get vaccinated. But the youngest isn't 12 yet, so tough shit. But that's pretty cool. Although there is still some concern that with as many people that are opting to not get the vaccine, that the idea of global herd immunity is not really achievable right now, which is really unfortunate.
So I read an article that was an op-ed by a scientist that read that because we have so many different opinions in different states and different areas of the country, that herd immunity is going to be very hard for the US to conquer, because we have these like, oh, don't wear a mask. Oh, you can wear a mask here. You don't have to, you don't have to eat outside here. You can go eat inside. So many different conflicting things are happening that it's not all the same. So back to when Orange was in office, I just was like, why doesn't he just fully take control of the situation and say, wear a mask? We don't know what's happening. Honesty.
Right.
And say, wear the mask so that we can control. Because he honestly, I think, could have controlled it from the word go, and we wouldn't be here. Yeah. But especially with variants coming out of India and different places, we have variants happening here in the US. I think that y'all just need to be careful. And just because you are vaccinated. Oh, I got a question for y'all. Hold on. But just because you're vaccinated doesn't mean that you're free to go.
Correct.
So somebody posted on Facebook today, why should I get vaccinated when it doesn't protect you from the virus? You want to know what I put? In the comments? I put, why wear a seatbelt when it's not guaranteed that you're not going to die in an accident?
Because you minimize the risk, because it's proven that even if you do get in an accident or using a seatbelt, that it will minimize. You may still get injured, but it won't be as bad. Same thing with the vaccine.
There's things in our life that we do every day that is just like the vaccine. It minimizes everything that you could get into.
Right. It minimizes the risk. Is what it was what it does. No, it's one of those things that you do because it's not just about you, it's about everybody else as well. So, it's important. See. Oh, and the US has surpassed every other country in the world in total confirmed cases and deaths. Go us. We are currently at 33 million cases and almost 600,000 deaths. However, if the situation in India gets any worse, it's deteriorating rapidly. They could end up surpassing us, and this is they're in dire straits. They are currently at about 23 million cases with 254,000 deaths. They're struggling. They're really struggling, and it is like the epitome of fucking privilege when you have people here that are just like, I don't want to get the vaccine. I'm good. I don't want to get it. When you have people that don't have access to it, that need it.
Yeah, they're practically begging for it.
They are literally begging for more vaccine. Meanwhile, you have the fucking Karens and shit here that are like, you're infringing on my freedom. I believe
somebody made a meme about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just a lady standing in the middle of the street. She goes, I don't want the vaccine. I don't need it. And then there's a guy in India who is like, if she doesn't want it, can I have it?
Right.
I'm like, I'm ready just to say, can we get like a swift flight over? And
I saw an interesting meme the other day myself where it was like, imagine if all the like fucking yoga studios here were donating to India, considering where do you think that? But I hate to say it, yoga was not invented in Scottsdale.
But they go willingly.
Shit that you're fucking appropriating and all the shit that you have taken from this culture. And every time that you go up to somebody and you say namaste, every fucking time you do that shit, you should be sending money to fucking India at this point. You should be bankrolling their fucking vaccines at this point because privilege, y'all. Privilege. Recognize it, acknowledge
right now, we have American privilege and seeing people say, no. I'm just like, okay, well, there's a country over there that wants this and raising gobs of money so they can pay for it. So also in India, there's the caste system.
Correct.
If you don't know about this is something I learned during the movement last year, which is still continuing in my opinion. But anyway, there are not just classes, there are caste systems of people that it's hard to move out of a certain caste and move up.
It's almost impossible. The caste system has basically been in place for centuries. And once you are born into a certain caste, it is damn near impossible to get out of it unless you run away and marry somebody else, unless you create opportunities, but creating opportunities is still very, very difficult, especially if you are within the lower caste. And
I'm not just talking about poverty either.
No. And so the upper caste, so you have the Brahmins and you have the Sikhs and you have, the folks of the upper caste that are able to do things like receive the vaccine and get treated if they end up with COVID or whatever it is. The folks in the lower caste are screwed.
And a majority of the population is in the lower caste.
Correct.
So
so keep that in mind whenever you use your privilege to say, I'm not going to wear this mask. I'm going to go ahead and go into this crowded area and fuck the vaccine and fuck masks. And I'm going to do whatever I want because I can, because you have insurance.
That's just how I feel today. Cause I'm going to go to yoga and then I'm going to feel even better and I'm going to meditate.
Right. Cause namaste. Let's see, in Arizona, as of today, we have 870,624 cases. That's almost a million. We are at 17,430 deaths. We had 469 new cases reported today. Our positivity rate is currently at 10%. We're still averaging, if you take all of our numbers, we're still averaging about 1,000 cases a day. That's still a lot. That's still a lot. We're not done. We are not out of the woods, and Ducey doesn't give a flying fuck.
We haven't plateaued yet.
No, we're still no.
Never.
Yep.
Never did we ever. Did we ever? And are people caring less and less? It seems like it. It seems like
people just don't give a fuck. The number of so, and this is something that I posted about on Facebook, and something that I'm still struggling with. Like, I really want to be able to go out, and I really want to go and support folks that are in shows. But when I see people just taking pictures with people with no masks on, I'm like, really? You're just okay, cool. I can't do it. Like, crowded. There were pictures of people at Newtown Saloon, packed patio, packed.
Oh, I was going to say, my pictures were not of people crowding.
You had your mask on. Dominic had his mask on. There were a couple pictures of people taken with you that they didn't have their masks on. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm noticing at Cobalt, and I will fucking call it out. Cobalt, performers don't have to have their masks on if they're on stage, even though the fucking catwalk or whatever it is goes right out into the audience. They don't have to have their mask on. I'm like, so what's the fucking difference? If you're there and the audience is all around you versus when you step off the stage. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet because I think it's irresponsible, and I'm just not okay with it. Oh, speaking of performing, what do we have coming up? What are our next gigs?
Oh, I don't think I put everything on.
Oh, before we talk about that though, I do have to say that for the Free Mom Hugs fundraiser that we did in Tucson, they made us all thank you bags, which were so fucking amazing. And we all got these little dudes. I call mine it's a, what do I call it? Like a Stegosaurus whale sperm dude.
So this is what cute as fuck. This is what it looks like when I say Stegosauruses. Penis is like a Stegosaurus.
Right. You got the rainbow one with purple. Mine's like pansexual colors, and he's blue, and he's mine. Yeah. I love it. They're so freaking cute. They worked so hard on these. And then we also got portable hugs.
I don't know where mine went.
I know where mine are. I have one that is in the trans colors, and then I also got a special one that is in the colors of the leather flag, which I was very excited about. And so yeah, that was super, super nice of them to do that. But there's all sorts of Free Mom Hugs merch, so go check that out. I want one of the water bottles that have the big bear with the little trans bear. Like, I'm holding out for one of those. I want one of those. I totally want one of those. Totally. Let's see. Oh, you and I are both doing the Family Drag Story Hour this Saturday.
Yeah, at 11 a.m. Yay, day drag.
I know. Super exciting. Yay.
Y'all better get up and watch us.
I know, right?
We don't do this to see ourselves.
We definitely don't. Definitely don't. So make sure you grab all of your little people,
or if you're just an adult that wants like story time. I tend to see a lot of people that like story time, just in general.
Yes. No, this is definitely true.
Get into it.
Also, you need to change the sign behind you. It's not 2020 anymore.
I know. I've been meaning to. I just found the letters too. The letters and the numbers. And you just noticed that? It's been like that for like a good...
Oh, no, I know. I was waiting to see if you were going to change it, but I figured we're almost halfway through the year.
I couldn't find the letters, and then I don't want to take the letters out and then lose those.
You could just move the sign.
No.
Oh, do we have any other gigs coming up? Is there anything else that I'm missing?
I have another one. Hold on. Excuse me.
It's fine. We'll just wait until Felicia checks her calendar.
Yeah.
While she's doing that, I would like to say again that we are looking for folks that want to donate fun Pride themed stuff for the Pride basket that we are putting together for June.
Oh, that's interesting.
So if you know somebody that is an artist or has Pride merch or whatever that they would like to donate to our basket, message Felicia or myself, and we would be happy to take some of that off of your hands.
So I have been asked to be in a digital drag show called Something of a Different Color, featuring BPIO entertainers from all over the country, hosted by Honey Davenport from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Very cool.
And that will be on May 26th, I think. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it comes on before us. If not.
Oh, is that a Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
It's supposed to be getting.
And keep an eye out for more guest announcements. We're gonna have more people on.
I had to stop after because work kept booking things on Wednesdays.
Right. And Felicia and I are going to, at some point this summer, we're going to start working on some more Patreon stuff because we can. We'll have some time to be able to do that. So we'll have lots of extras for the Patreon. We also have some fun stuff that are going to be sent out to our Patreon supporters. So if you want some extra goodies, make sure that you get onto Patreon and sign up.
It's really not that expensive.
We're pretty cheap.
When I look at some other people's Patreons, I'm like, damn, are we too low?
Right. Anyway.
But that's fine. We're not here for. Yes, we are. I'm just kidding. No, we're not here for the money. Thank you all for joining us tonight. For those that did participate, thank you for being here. And for those that watch on the replay or listen to us on the podcast, thank you. And we will see you next week for your Wednesday night conversation.
Good night.
That's it. That's all. Good night.
Promotional consideration for Let's Have a Fefe provided by Wigs of a Kind, The Burly Barber, Bone and Basil, as well as our patrons at Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Let's Have a Fefe to become a Fefe patron. Virtual tips accepted at paypal.me/Let's Have a Fefe. Subscribe to the Let's Have a Fefe podcast. You can listen on your favorite podcatcher. See you next week for your Wednesday night conversation. This has been Let's